gosh, he's a little man. Oh, he's a midget. He's a dwarf. Go and ask him the time. There might be a circus in town. Go and ask him. Oh, God, they're horrible people. Ghastly. Why are they so rude? Oh, go away. Hey, there's no need to be rude. I'm a human being. I was born this way. Mum and Dad were of average height. 90% of people like me are born to parents of average height. A little known fact to people who don't know what's going on with certain conditions. That's the way I was growing in my mother's stomach. That's the way I was born. That's the way I was going on with life. Can you hear me at the back?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say you couldn't see me. Right, sorry. I usually have a voice that carries. You saw what I was doing there, where I was doing something quite outrageous that is faced by people who are different sometimes, physically different, of different forms of differences. You saw one reaction where it was anger, and it was going, ah! Another reaction of, hey, let's go and talk, let's go and explain, let's go and tell the story. I've always been someone who's gone and told the story, come forward and said, okay, I'm short, so what? Does it matter? I've inspired parents who are like my mum and dad, who have children with this growth condition, inspired them at various conferences and talked to them. They've come along to those conferences for the first time thinking, what is the future for my child? All they see is time bandits. Ooh, oof, little people in the circus, little people in Snow White. Great, I have no problem with people who do that, but that's what they see. They come along to the conference with their young baby, with their young child, not knowing what the future is. Quite often in the conferences I've been to, it's only been me as the adult there of this condition, and I've done my talk. I've told them about my life, about my development from a child through baby, child, young adult, etc. And having two positive parents and a very positive family who encouraged me to get out there, to be positive. Mum and Dad were positive, therefore I was positive. So one of the key things I'd say to these parents is, be positive and your child will be positive. Get them out there meeting people. Don't hide them away. Get them out there talking to people. Get them out there introducing themselves to people. Get them out there in the Cubs, Scouts, Brownies, Guides, Youth Club, whatever. Get them interested in things. Dad got me into bird watching, he got me into gardening, he got me into all sorts of other things, and public speaking as well. I don't care about this. Hopefully you don't either. Hopefully you've seen me, and you'll see me at the end of the night and say, oh, we met a guy called Chris. He might have been ginger-haired or bald. You might have forgotten about the short stature. I don't know. Hopefully, though, you'll see the guy who was positive, like everyone else, who is a human being, showing love, warmth, caring towards everyone. But also, being aware that there are those people who are a little bit naive, not quite with it. Yes, there are times when I can suddenly go, ah, fuck you, sorry, forgive the language, and really swear at them. There are other times I can think, no, I'll sit down. Come on, let's sit down, let's have a chat, let's work it out. Or for children who don't quite understand. Typical situation with children, they are curious. It's a case of us having to educate them and talk to them, teaching them about different things. The typical thing with the children is that you get the typical thing of little Tommy. Mummy, look, little man, why is he small? 3 types of parents. Parent number 1, Johnny, don't be rude. It's not good to point, don't do that. Parent number 2, Johnny, shut up! Shut up, Johnny, how dare you! Oh, that's horrible. Parent number 3, oh yeah, come on Johnny, go and see if he's real. Go and ask him for the circus, go on. You get those 3 different situations. In that last situation, you can split them down the middle. You'll get the situation where you will turn around and say, excuse me, that's a bit rude, don't you think? And you'll get the ones who go, oh, sorry mate, didn't mean to be rude. And those go, yeah, so what, what's your problem? So you get all the different situations there. Luckily, they're in the minority. For me, my mottos are, laugh and they laugh with you. Another one is where there's a will, there's a way. Aim high, aim high. Yeah, okay. And what's the other one? Oh, have a go at everything. So basically, I haven't done bungee jumping, but this year, it was my 50th year. So I'm going to go and do some fundraising for a charity and do a parachute jump connected to someone. Scared of heights, but never mind, we'll do it. I can't swim to save my life because of a fear as a kid of going under all the time, and yet I can stand up here or stand and give a lecture to 350 people and different audiences like that. People look at me and say, gosh, God, no way, we'd rather swim. But that's just the way I am. We're all different. Now, the thing that we need to think about here is that everyone is different, and we need to bear that in mind. We all have different views, political views, different ideas about different things, but we just need to be aware that we're all human beings. The person in the wheelchair, the person who's visually impaired, the person who might be of hearing deficit, etc. The person who might be of short stature, has a heart, has a brain, has emotions. Now I know you know that, because you're all good people, aren't you? Yes. Good, glad to hear it. But there are people out there who still need educating and promoting things. Since the Paralympics and the young Ellie Simmons, who was the swimmer, things have changed. I was lucky in that I didn't have that much abuse or bullying or things like that going on. There are people out there like myself who don't quite have the same positive attitude to life and getting out there, and they hide away or they make themselves feel different. For them, they might have more knocks than I do. But since the Paralympics, since the Game of Thrones with Peter Dinklage, who is a very positive gentleman with his acting and going out there doing positive acting roles, since Ellie Simmons and her swimming and winning all those golds and wonderful things that she's doing, people are seeing the positives about people. There are lots of people with my stature who are in medical profession, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're sex workers, they're academics, they're professors, they're of all sorts of things. In America, we have a gentleman who is an orthopedic surgeon with his stature. We also have, or sadly now he's no more, but he died a few years ago, he was a professor at Harvard of law. And there was an interesting article about him and about his time of trying to get there, always having to prove himself. Yes, I must admit, there have been times when I've always had to prove I can do it. But you know what? On top of all that, I love life. I get out there. I've had all sorts of relationships, and every one of them has been a woman of average height. The tallest was 5'11". now. And so I've had lots of relationships, I've had lots of different jobs, I've got 2 degrees, I've worked in medical research. I now work in an administration role of a Boots clinic where I'm dealing with people who are having to have warfarin and things like that. I've worked in law courts, I've worked in charity administration, I've been a visitor in a cancer hospice, I've done all sorts of different things dealing with people. I've got out there, I've listened to them, talked to them, helped them. Yes, I've had some bits on television as well. I was in a couple of TV documentaries about short stature, and also I was in the Trinny and Susanna Great British Body Show, which was about 7 or 8 years ago. And it was a wonderful documentary all about different shapes and sizes of people and body image. And yes, 400 of us did get naked on a hillside with Trinny and Susanna down in Brighton. If you saw it, wow, it was good. So I've done all those different things. If you see someone who's different, don't look at them negatively. Think, ooh, I wonder what they've done in life. I bet they're exciting. Thank you.